Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In previous video we learned about perceptual illusion and its causes, why it happens. But in this video we are going to know about the different types of perceptual illusions. Let's start the video. So when you see this figure, what happens to you? So it's a 2D figure where there is circle and then blue background, but it feels like the image is moving. So this is the illusion created in our perception of sight. A perceptual illusion occurs when our brain misinterprets sensory information, leading us to perceive something that does not match the physical reality. So, talking about the types of illusion, it has been widely divided into classification by deception type and classification by sensory system. In many books, many authors has classified illusion in terms of sensory system, but if you talk it in widely sense, these illusions has been classified into two types, that is one is in the term of deception type and next is sensory system. So when we divide these types of illusion under classification of deception type and classification by sensory system, first one is it is literal illusion, next physiological illusion, and third one is cognitive illusion. And if we talk about the sensory system, this is auditory, tactile, olfactory, and gustatory illusion. Now let's know about it in more detail. Classification by deception type. So, psychologists generally divide illusions into three primary categories based on where the error occurs, whether it occurs in our environment or it occurs because of eyes or nerves or the brain. So, talking about the literal illusion, look at this figure. You can see flowers, different kinds of fruits over here, tomato, capsicum, or paper, bell pepper, or it's can be the lime. So it is decorated here, right? We can see the decoration. But if we see uh, little nicely, then what happens? We see the image of a face. So literal illusion. This occurs when an image is composed of smaller or different elements that lead the brain to perceive a new singular object. Actually, it is the flowers and vegetables and fruits. But what our brain chooses to see, it chooses to see the whole rather than the parts. So it sees the portrait of a face made entirely out of fruits or flowers. So, how it happens? What is the mechanism? Because the brain tendency to find familiar patterns takes priority over individual details. So, next example of literal illusion is here. Talking about the next example of literal illusion is you can bring the papers and prepare and sketch it like as a figure. So when one sees it, it's totally a image of certain person rather than the small papers, right? So that can be also the example of literal illusion. Next one is physiological illusion. So what is physiological illusion? So these are caused by overstimulating the eyes or brain with excessive brightness, color, tilt, or the movement. For example, Horman grid, where you can see like the gray balls at the intersection of white lines on a black background. So this is the black background, right? And this is the white lines. So now what happens here? In this intersection of two whites, you will find the gray light spot. If you see this image carefully, you can see that. So what is the mechanism here? It is due to the lateral inhibition, where the active neurons in the retina inhibit the response of neighboring neurons, creating flickering or the dark spots that does not exist. Actually, that dark spot does not exist, but it is existing because of the lateral inhibition, where active neurons in the retina inhibit the response of neighboring neurons. So it creates flickering of the dark spot that does not exist. Next one is cognitive illusion. So these are the most complex because eyes are working perfectly, but the brain's unconscious inferences about the world lead to the misinterpretation. So cognitive illusions are further divided into four subtypes, that is ambiguous, next is distorting, paradox, and fiction. Now, what is ambiguous? Ambiguous means having dual meaning of anything. So, images. So, here we are talking about the cognitive illusion. So, we'll be talking about the images. So, images that flip between two valid interpretation. So, if you have seen the picture of naked cube or ruined vase, so here you will find the two faces, and here you will also find the fast. So we will see those figures, but let me explain through this table right now. Distorting. So distorting mean it can be error in size, length, or the certain curvature. That is molar layer illusion. Lines with arrow. We will discuss it later. So next is paradox. Objects that are impossible in 3D but can be drawn in 2D. So that can be Penrose triangle and MC is ascending and descending stairs. Next one is fiction. So it is perceiving a shape when only partial edges are present. That is Caninsa triangle where we can see a white triangle that is actually not drawn. Let us know more about it through the picture for clarity. So this is the Neckars cube. So when we just see the Neckar without the shadow, what happens? If you stare at it, you will feel like when you are looking up, the lower left square appears to be the front face. Okay? But when you are looking up, the upper right square appears to be the front face. So here two illusions can be created and which is said as bistable perception. So this is about the Necker's cube. So here you will feel like they have the different front face. Next one, Rubin's vase. So if you see here, this is just one image, right? But here you will find two images, two picture. So why you are having that illusion, though there is not the face of a human, still you are able to see that. So it's a illusion created by our sensory system. Next is molar layer illusion. So what is happening here? If you see here this line, which one is the bigger? You might say the first one is the bigger, but it's not true. Actually, these two lines are equal, but because this arrow is moving outward and this inward, it is creating like the second one is a small, but it's not that. Third one is Penrose triangle. Actually, it's a 2D image. It is not 3D image, but it feels like a 3D image, right? So this is the Penrose triangle. Next one is ascending and descending is stairs. It is the 2D drawing. Look at here. If you look over here in this picture, it's going down, it's going upward, and it's going down. But it's not possible to draw in 3D picture, but it's in 2D picture, which is representing as the 3D picture. Next one is Kasinsa triangle. Kasinsa triangle. So look at here. So because of this is we are able to draw a triangle over here, right? Also, we are able to draw the bigger triangle. Actually, it does not exist, but it feels like there is white triangle. So those were the classification by deception system. Now we are going to understand it through the classification of sensory system. So illusions are not limited to sight. Any sensory pathway can be hacked by the brain's expectation. It is not just about the sight. It is not just about the visual. It's also to other parts. It's not just limited to visual. So next is auditory illusion, that is hearing. The brain tries to find the meaning in sounds or fill in the gaps. So McCrook effect. I'm talking about the McCrook effect. So just look at my face and how I'm pronouncing that, like fa, 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 ba, 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 fa, 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 ba, ba, ba. So what happens is when I'm pronouncing this, you will feel like I'm telling fa and maybe I'm telling ba, but you may feel like it as fa, but maybe I'm telling ba. So what is happening here? When you look at person's mouth, you will feel tricked because you will just see the moving, right? Moving of the mouth. So because of that, it tricks the auditory and it creates auditory illusion. But if you close your eyes and just listen to the sound, you will be able to feel the correct audio. Next is safer tone, a sound that seems to rise in pitch forever, like hmm. Actually, it is same pitch, but you will feel like the rise. Hmm. You feel like the rise. So it is the safer tone. Next one is tactile illusion. So in phantom limb amputees means who has lost certain organs. So the amputees feeling sensation or pain in a limb that is no longer there. So there is not the body part or there is missing of some body part, but they feel like there is the pain in that part. That is the tactile illusion because of the trauma. So it is the case of phantom limb as well. And next one is Aristotle illusion. So firstly, you need to cross this index finger and middle finger and put certain object over here and press it. You will feel like the input is not single, it's two objects that you are using. Why? Because when you are crossing your index and middle finger and towards a small object like a P as shown in a figure, you feel two objects because the brain is not used to the input from those sides of the fingers simultaneously. Talking about the olfactory and gustatory illusion, smell and taste. Sometimes what happens is when we feel like eating mm, uh, some dish which is favorite to us, like chicken curry. If I like chicken curry, and if I just imagine like somebody is cooking that, I feel like that smell is nearby. So that's a illusion. Okay, that's a illusion. So sometimes when our mother is cooking food, we feel like that okay, she has made chicken curry because inside of us we also want to have that. So we are smelling that food, but later on we find that it's different dish. Why is that happening? Because of the olfactory illusion. That's difference in the smell. And gustatory illusion, that's the taste. As you can see in figure, if I feel like I'm drinking this red colored water or certain wine, if I want to feel that it's the taste of the berry, and if I am a person who is a very alert, that sense will be created in my taste board because of the brain, and that is gustatory illusion. So it's all about the different types of illusion that occurs in our life, which is different to the physical reality. And the next illusion is multisensory illusion. So the most fascinating illusion happen when these two senses clash. So I'm sure that in different videos you must have seen the ventriloquist effect. That is a person carrying a puppet and making a sound, and it feels like the puppet is making sound. Why is that happening? Because our brain perceives the sound as coming from the puppet's moving mouth rather than the ventriloquist still mouth because the visual cue is more stronger than the directional hearing cue. So this is the ventriloquist effect. So here you can see a person that is ventriloquist, and it's a puppet, and it feels like this puppet is speaking, though this person is trying to create effect in that motion. Lastly, thank you so much for watching this video. So these are the references if you want to know about the perceptual illusions that occurs in our day-to-day life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and share. And if you like this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.